everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of Royal Fashion News. My name is Brittany, and today we're going over the fashion looks that actually happened about a week ago. So I am a bit behind. I went to Boston to cover William and Catherine's tour. In addition, I was packing some shirts that I had created and sent out, and that took so much longer than I expected. So I'm going to go ahead and drop this video, which I realize is late, but I still think it's worth showing. In addition, guys, if you want to go and vote on your best and worst looks of the week, especially Catherine's tour looks, feel free to head over to my Instagram, Royal Fashion News, where I have polls for everything, and you guys can help determine what was Catherine's best and worst looks of her tour, in addition to the best and worst royal looks of the week. So without further ado, let's get started. So one of my choices for, I would say not my favorite look of the week definitely, is Camilla and her first state visit in a tiara after the Queen's death. You could watch it on the live stream. I actually did a live stream discussing the tiaras they would wear. I did a video suggesting that this may be one of the tiaras that I was leaning more towards Catherine, but obviously Camilla busted out for this new state visit. I was just severely underwhelmed by this look. I think she looks great in the sapphires. I like the color blue here, but I am not a fan of the dress. I think the dress has no shape. And I get it, as a woman of Camilla's age, sometimes it's a bit harder to get a dress that you feel like fits you well and everything, but there's just something about it that I feel like is just very like, oh my gosh, I could get this off the rack at Macy's look. And I feel like the sleeves play into that. The lace, it could be very expensive lace. It just looks kind of cheap. But I feel like lace is one of those very tricky things where it can either make really elevate your look or sometimes make it look cheap. And because I feel like the lace doesn't hug her arms more closely, I feel like it makes it look cheap, which I feel like is kind of a weird thing to say, but it just really doesn't work for me. I remember watching on the live stream and I was like, oh, really? Because this was really a moment for Camilla to shine, and I just think she just really underwhelmed here, and this was really her moment, and she definitely did not hit the mark, although one of the royal ladies in the party definitely did, but we will get back to that later in this video. So for one of my better looks of the week, I actually chose Camilla, and in this blue number. I think blue looks fabulous on her. I feel like she looked really fabulous when they greeted the South African president as he arrived. And I feel like this blue is just very flattering on her. I feel like this works. And it is a great nod that she pulled this through for the state visit for the dinner as well. But again, I don't feel like it was well fitted and the other dress, but this was what Camilla should stick with. It's a gorgeous coat. The blue color is lovely. So I feel like she really looks fabulous there. Okay, so for my next outfit of the week, although you guys didn't rank this as lowly as I thought you might, this was Queen Maxima of the Netherlands and her Carmen Sandiego inspired look. Now, I like aspects of this with the cape on, the coat that she's using kind of as a cape. I feel like she's one of the few royals that does that well. Not everybody does. Meghan would always try that, and I always thought it was funny because sometimes the jacket or whatever she was doing wasn't meant to do that. So the shoulder pads and everything of the jacket were like at her ears. I'm like, honey, that's not supposed to how that. So that's not how that's supposed to work. But I feel like this really works pretty well for Maxima. I will say though, I'm not a fan of her wearing the hat indoors. I feel like the hat and the cape and everything work together outside. When she goes indoors, it just feels like a little too much. And that's something Maxima definitely struggles with, I feel like, is that she is a bit over the top. And while that generally really works with tiara outfits, I will say on state visits and on big tiara events, Maxima rocks it. She really does. But when it comes to more pared down day events, she just doesn't usually, the outfits seem a bit too much, and usually her hair is not in the best shape. So it's just one of those things. I understand why she perhaps didn't take the hat off, but I kind of like it better I like it better without the hat, at least when she's indoors. Okay, so for my next look of the week that I really like, which almost caused quite a bit of a stumble here, is Queen Letizia of Spain, and her look here. She was at an event, and I think I really do like this dress. I feel like it's a stunning look, and she has Carolina Herrera slingback heels on that almost caused her to slip and fall down the stairs, but thankfully her lovely husband, so this is King Philippe of Spain, was able to break her fall a bit. And so this dress is from Emporio Armani, and it is, again, like I said, her heels are slingback Carolina Herrera. And again, I feel like that really does work pretty well. It was just funny to watch the progression of going, oh, and he's there. He actually doesn't catch it at first. He's just kind of looking out, and she just grabs his arm, and he's like, and it takes him a minute. But it's kind of funny to watch something like that happen in slow motion through pictures. It's just kind of fun. Okay, so for my next not so favorite look of the week, and mostly because this look really just reminds me of a waiter or something. So this is Princess Charlene of Monaco, and she's wearing this outfit. It's a black skirt and white dress shirt. So it looks like the shirt and the pumps are both Dior. It's unclear about the shirt. And it's not a bad look. It's just not a great look either. It looks really plain. It reminds me of Megan's look when she went to, I can't remember what exactly award ceremony it was, but she was pregnant and she wore this black skirt and this white button up, and she looked like a waiter. There was just nothing about the look that worked then, and I feel like Charlene's a bit in the same boat. Okay guys, so next we're moving on to a couple of the looks that Victoria debuted in Africa during a tour. She actually went with Crown Prince Haakon of Norway, so the Swedish and Norwegian households and the Danish households are all very, very close. These Scandinavian royals, they have a long family history, and so I have a soft spot for Victoria. I think she does gala looks very well, and she has one of my favorite wedding rehearsal dress looks ever. I think she rocked it. But I'm just, except for the pink dress that I really liked, that was rather plain and simple, I really didn't like anything that she wore. And here's the reason why. I think most of those dresses just work fine, but she's not coordinating these looks well enough. And what I mean by that is Victoria always has her hair in a bun or a ponytail, almost exclusively. Now during this tour, I agree, it kind of made sense. However, what this does is she's wearing very flowy things and very severe hair. So I feel like the hair and the dress don't mix well. And so she needs, I think, a softer hair look if she's going to go with these very, very flowy and feminine designs. I feel like if you're going to do a very sleek look, generally, then your hair in a bun, in a severe bun, it works. I think it does genuinely work. But if you have floral patterns, I feel like it needs a bit more of a relaxed look. So I did like the look where she wore floral, but she also had a bit of a blazer over it. I felt like that worked because it balanced out the hair and the flowiness of the dress, and the suit jacket did wonders here. And I feel like either she needs to do that more, or at the end of the day, I feel like she really just needs a stylist, because these looks aren't working. And I so appreciate that she does not want to go to a hairstylist every time to get her hair done. I totally appreciate that. But this severe look and the flowy look, it's not working for me. I did also like her blue dress here that had the blue pattern in it. Again, she's just being very fussy, and like all of her looks recently have been very fussy like this, and she needs, I think she looks better, more streamlined. So I'm hoping she moves more in that direction. Like Crown Princess Mary, I feel like Crown Princess Victoria would look better in aspects like Mary, although Crown Princess Victoria does choose similar things, but I feel like the blazers are never fitted well. The pants are too short. She's wearing booties. It just doesn't work. So I feel like this really works for Crown Princess Mary. I feel like because the pants are long and hide a bit of the booty, it works better. And I like the gray. I like the green, I think, and it looks like she has some green emerald earrings on. So I feel like this look, really, she pulls off quite well. She is definitely one of my favorite royal ladies to watch. The suit came from Massamundi, so it is probably definitely more on the expensive end, but I feel like we saw something similar from Zara in terms of a suit, so you may be able to find something similar. Okay, another on the worst dress this week, or a look I didn't really like, was Queen Maxima. There's aspects of it I don't mind really. It's kind of interesting. I like the pants. I'm just not so sure about the jacket thing. I don't know if that works. And I know this is like a weird nitpicky thing, but I generally don't like it when royal ladies have bags on their shoulders. I prefer clutches because it just gives them, I feel like, if you have something on your shoulder, you're worried about it moving and stuff, and a clutch, you can just move from hand to hand pretty easily. And it's just a very casual look. But of course, Maxima, again, oversized earrings, and she obviously, her bag is Chanel, which is very pricey. I mean, that little bag there probably cost 10 grand. And it's very pricey. Given the climate, that may not be the best choices. So it'll be interesting to see if over time we see royals debut things that are cost effective, because obviously a lot of people are going to be hurting. There's a lot of rumors and talks of recessions and everything. So again, there's part of me that kind of likes this look and part of me that just doesn't. Okay, so another look of the week I really liked, and this is Queen Matilda of the Belgians, and she is hosting the Swiss president and his wife, and I think she looks gorgeous in red. I feel like the red really suits her. I personally like it better without the hat and with the coat undone. I feel like she looks better that way, but I'm really loving this look. I think it's clean, simple. It's very much a royal inspired look. So I love these kind of things, and I'm a big fan of monochromatic, and I realize a lot of royals do that, but I do think it genuinely really works and gives them the flexibility. It gives them a great style palette, and they're not worrying too much about colors matching and those sorts of things. Because if you're a style influencer, yeah, you can play with patterns and colors, but royals, they just need basically a good dress code and something that's not too flashy or fussy. Okay, so we have here Queen Letizia of Spain. This one I thought was interesting. So every week, guys, I put up as many of the royal outfits as I can for you guys to vote on. Let me know what you think is the best and worst look of the week. I do funny little sayings or jokes, but usually it just means, do you like this look? Do you not like this look? And I try to pull something out. I do mostly like this, but there's a part of me that's like, I'm not so sure about the pants. So the pants are from Hugo Boss. And I also love, I gotta give a huge shout out to Carlos. He always gets a picture of the heels. So Carlos, my man, you are grabbing the shots that we all want, because getting a close-up of the fashion is a good thing. I feel like, again, she looks great in this. I think from the side, though, I'm less a fan of the pants, if that makes sense. I don't know. I feel like very few women could pull these off well. And of course, Letizia is one of them. She is very thin, and not that she's just thin. I think, guys, works out like a fiend, because we've seen her arms sometimes, and those arms are built. So this is not, she works out, I think, a lot, and I think she eats very healthily. So I think, and it's just natural too. So I feel like she does look great in this. And for some reason, I know this is really weird, but I like this picture of her pulling her pants up a bit or adjusting them. I don't know why. It just seems like such a normal gesture, and I kind of love it. Okay, so next, one of my favorite looks of the week is a tiara look. And this is from Queen Matilda again. And she looks, I think, stunning in these earrings and this tiara that she's wearing. And it's actually kind of funny is that these earrings, somebody else pointed out, and I agree, looks a lot like Catherine's earrings that she wears. Like, I believe it's this, can't remember quite what they're called, but she has worn them. She wore them earlier this week. So she chose to wear the Barabant Laurel Wreath tiara. The Belgians just don't have many tiaras to choose from. So this one is one of their few available options. They actually bought one for their daughter, which again makes sense because there's just not that many within the collection. Some families have a ton and other families not so much. And the Belgians are one of those. So again, I feel like Matilda really, she looks stunningly regal here. I feel like the light pink is a gorgeously flattering color on her. It was a great choice. She looks great in red, and she looks great in this softer color too. And as you can tell, she's a pretty tall woman. So I feel like she carries that off really well. Okay, so next in my more questionable, what is this kind of look, is Queen Letizia of Spain. And I love the cut of this blazer. I just don't get the feathers on the arms. I just don't get them. They're subtle, so they're not too distracting. So I will give her that, but I feel like they're weird. And again, Carlos, my man, with the shoe shots. You are awesome, Carlos. I just really appreciate he gets a shot of the shoes, guys. We should give our love to Carlos. So I think, again, this look, she looks great in these very streamlined looks. She looks fabulous in them. I just don't think the feathers were a choice I would make. I just don't think they're a choice I would make personally. But again, I think she looks pretty fabulous here. And she does really, really rock a suit. She really, really does. So I think Letizia here, if she could just lose the feathers, that would be the perfect little suit, and I'd give it higher marks. Or something, I don't know, maybe something more subtle than feathers on the arms I think would be better. Okay guys, so now when it comes to who you guys chose as your best look of the week. Now, your guys' best look of the week matches mine, so we'll wait for that until the end. But we did have a couple of surprises here, and both were in green. So you guys thought that 93% of you loved this green look from Princess Beatrice. I think she does look absolutely fabulous in it. And this is a Beulah of London dress. And I actually did get her cornflower blue version of it when the pound was almost equal with the dollar. And I was like, this is my moment to buy that dress. And I do need to lose a little bit of weight to fit into it, but I think it's a gorgeous look. I really love the green too. I love fall colors and those darker tones. I think this color in particular looks great on Beatrice, and I think she looks absolutely stunning here. And then one of your other favorite looks of the week was also green, and that was Queen Camilla, who looked stunning in this green ensemble here when she was delivering some of the Paddington Bears to a charity. She just looked, I think this look is great on her. And again, I feel like she does like to go, and perhaps because it's older and things, she does like to go with things that I feel like very much match what the Queen did in her latter years, which were things that were generally not fitted and just very loose. So I feel like Camilla is exemplifying this here. And so I feel like this is a much better look than the look she debuted at the state visit. Okay, so now for the look you guys chose as your worst of the week. And I have to agree, I am not a fan of this, and yet I see potential here. It could be, and I haven't heard this for sure, but Victoria has been known to rewear her mother's gowns from years ago, so that could be the case here. But Victoria, this is just not a great look. I think it would be much better if the flowers pattern was smaller and all over the dress rather than just on the top or something. I don't know. It just doesn't seem to work very well. I don't think it looks the best on her. It's just not all that flattering. And again, she has a severe hair. She just needs to, I feel like she needs to actually, one of the things they should do is really work on changing up her hair game. Her hair game is just, I feel like one of the things that really pulls her looks down is her hair. I know that's weird thing to nitpick, but I really do think the severe hair with these very feminine silhouettes just doesn't work. And maybe if it's her facial structure too. It's, again, this is not to nitpick, but I just feel like we can all learn from things, and especially royal. So I think this is an instance where we can all go, hey, I totally see how that doesn't work. How am I doing something? Am I wearing very feminine looks with hair that's rather severe, or am I wearing very severe looks with very feminine hair? I don't know. That's just me gabbing, so who knows, right? I could be totally wrong. But anyways, guys, you guys thought this dress, 33% of you loved it. 67% agreed that it was, the design isn't the best. And I feel like that's the case here. The design needs to be better. Okay, when it comes to my choices, because I always end with my choices for best and worst look of the week. For the worst, I have to go with Queen Maxim again. She's wearing a lampshade. She's wearing a lampshade. What is this thing that's around her neck? And again, it's that Maxima thing where she goes big or goes home. This is too big. This is too weird. She's going literally to a grocery store. She's literally at a grocery store in a weird umbrella bubble thing around her neck. I don't like it. I really don't like it. And I get the point, and the hair is kind of messy. And again, that's something Maxima struggles with. I don't think her hair texture, I think she struggles with that a bit. unless it's for big events. And so when she goes out on her own, I don't think she has somebody else do her hair, but it just looks a little too scraggly. It's just, I'm so sorry guys. This is just not my pick here. Okay, so for the number 1 looks of the week, I'm actually going to give it to both of her looks here. And this is Catherine, the Princess of Wales. I almost said the Duchess of Cambridge, guys. It's so difficult to remember at times. And for this initial number that she wore to greet the South African president, you guys ranked it as 96%. Loved her in this regal look. And I argue that this color is plum. Some of you guys said raspberry and mulberry. I think those are all better descriptors than the burgundy the media was reporting. Her accessories were burgundy, but the outfit itself was not. And I think she just does look really, really gorgeous here. It was fantastic fall color on her. I really do like it. I wasn't sometimes the greatest fan of it getting out of the car necessarily because I didn't like how the pleats moved. But overall, I think it's a perfect look. Great one to show off her new brooch, the Prince of Wales brooch. And so it is a bravo thumbs up from Catherine. But between her 2 looks, the one she did here and the one to the State Banquet, I have to give it to the State Banquet. Catherine, this is her best tiara appearance ever. By far, this is a Jenny Packham dress. It is her best tiara appearance I think we've ever seen from her. She looked utterly perfect. 98% of you guys loved the look. I loved the drama of it. Some of you were not a fan of the sleeves. I liked the sleeves. It was something different. It had a bit of a medieval vibe, but not too much. And it's the same designer that obviously did her James Bond dress. So you have similar vibes here, though it's not a cape. It's just really long sleeves. But I think, again, I was hoping she would wear a different tiara. But I feel like the combination of the tiara and the silver detail on her shoulders really works. I don't know if this would have looked as good in a different tiara. I feel like this tiara and this dress are meant to be together. And I think this is one of Catherine's, again, one of her best tiara appearances ever. She utterly rocks this. I was just stunned. This was like, oh my gosh, she's finally there. Because it took Catherine a while to get into a more comfortable in these very grand ball gown dresses. And I feel like she's really finally starting to hit her stride. And I think having the elevation to the Princess of Wales does help her a bit. Although she may have had this dress, guys, on the back burner for quite a while because this state event was planned before COVID hit. So this state visit has been in plan for several years now. So she's probably had this dress on the back burner, or maybe it's newer, but even though I was hoping, and I still hope, we will see Catherine in different tiaras and different jewelry and everything, this look was perfection. The jewelry and the tiara all work together perfectly. And it's, again, one of my favorite looks of all time from Catherine. She's wearing a brooch that many think she probably got for her 40th birthday. It was up for sale around that time and sold at auction. We don't know if Charles bought it, William bought it, or maybe even she bought it for herself. Maybe her family bought it. It's unclear, but she's wearing that brooch also with her Royal Victorian Order. And again, guys, I wouldn't change anything about that look. I think it's just clear perfection. This is how princesses look. Eat your heart out, Meghan Markle. And if you guys want to vote on your best and worst looks of the week, feel free to go over to my Instagram. I'll put a link down below and you can check out and vote. Thank you again for watching. I look forward to seeing you again really soon. Bye.